And then on No Jumper, they had Paparazzi Poe on, right? I think that's how you say his name. Is that right? And then he said that he was locked up with you, and he always thought that you were a blood. He said that you guys were under the same management before, and he brought up the Mac Ballers, which is a blood set, and said that everyone in that gang got Mac in their name. So, like, you know, Adam was trying to push like the narrative as well that you were a blood.
Right. I mean, I was never locked up with Paparazzi Poe. We was never locked up in a jail. I never met him in jail. I met him outside. A lot of people thought I was blood because, you know, I mean, number one, I had red on all the time. I red on right now. The name of my company was Red Money. When I came home from prison, I had bloods in my video all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, so people thought that I was blood. Also, my name, China Mac, because, you know, Mac Baller Brims. But like I said from the beginning, in the Vlad interview, I said that I wasn't blood. I said that I got my name because I was locked up in C95 in a house with all Mac Bowler Brims, and they were trying to get me to, you know, join Mac Bowler Brims, but I never joined. However, they fuck with me so much that they used to call me China Mac. Nah, that's the Mac, that's the Mac, that's the Mac. And they just gave me that name. They just started calling me that name. You know what I'm saying? And I took that name because I thought it was like a catchy name. I thought it was a good name. At the time, my name was GK, and I felt like China Mac was much catchier than GK, and China Mac was more like, you know, I'm Chinese, so I felt like that was like a good, you know, that was a good name. You know what I mean? So I took it, and I started, you know, rapping with it, and it was my artist name. But yeah, I never joined anything. My whole prison sentence, people might have thought I was blood because I used to hang out. You know, I used to, you know, there wasn't no Asian people in the prisons I was at. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like there was an Asian car. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just hung out with whoever, like was around me, whoever I like, you know, was cool with, whoever like I related to. And you got to understand, I was in prison settings since I was a teenager, before a teenager, since I was a kid, 8, 9 years old in these detention centers. So when I was in these detention centers, I was meeting all these kids, right? And around those times, the blood gang came, like the blood started coming into New York. And all of these kids that I met throughout these years, juvenile detention, DFY, stuff like that, these kids started joining these gangs. I never joined the gang, but these kids started joining the gangs. And then when I went to Rikers Island, I started seeing the same kids that I was in juvenile detention with. And now these kids are Bloods. These kids are this set. These kids are Mac Baller. These kids are Hound. These kids are this, Stone. These kids are this. So now, of course, I have an affinity to these kids because these are the kids we grew up with. We learn how to fight together. We learn how to jail together. We learn all of this shit together. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't Bloods back then, but now, when I'm on Rikers Island, they all Bloods now. You know what I'm saying? So now, of course, naturally, you're gonna be like, yo, pull up, man. Nah, that's my bro. Like, I was with him in Tryon. I was with him in Harlem Valley. I was with him in Spofford. I was with him here. I was with him there. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, I started having affinity with them. And I never joined the gang, but shit, like, you know, if they was getting into a fight, I'd jump in just because was my peoples. You know what I'm saying? That I knew them from all these different places. And that's how I really got rocking with them like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people on the West Coast can't really understand that because their politics are a lot different than New York politics. In LA, that could never happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would never happen like that because they kind of segregate by race and shit. You know what I'm saying? But in New York, it's not like that. You know what I mean? So, you know?
Right. And so then that's like the whole thing that Adam was talking about, like, oh, early on in your music career, like you was claiming blood or like you was in the video like that. And that's the thing that he's been trying to push.
Yeah, but I mean, why is he even worried about that? Like, what does that have to do with, like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna
But
lie, bro.
yeah,
Genghis Khan is a dope name though. That was a dope name.
nah, yeah, I thought so too.